Okay. Right, so everything is there. Let me just share this. Okay, copy. And then, come on. Okay, one sec. Okay. See if I can share it on this guy. If I can actually pull it up on my phone, which I should be able to do. Maybe. Okay, one second. Okay. Switch to that. Channel, alright. Copy. Alright, there we go. Hey. Okay. Right, testing. So there is some lag, but hey, how you guys doing? It's right now. we've got some weeding situations to deal with. But that being said, right. Is it lagging on your end too? I can get that. There we go. Now I can actually see the screen. Okay. So, the main plants that we've got back here that have decided to volunteer themselves to be back here are the cow thistle. That's this guy over here. Or sow thistle, rather. Sorry. Wrong plant. The London rocket, that the stinging nettle, that are all kind of below camera range, but this guy over here. Now, oh, that's fun. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can finagle it. Okay. Close that. Okay, let me see. Actually, if I close that. Come on. Alright. And then close that. Right. And close that. Okay. The stream's the only thing I have open. Maybe it might work. Maybe sort of, kind of. Yeah? All right. So. What shall we do? Neighbor. Oh, yay. Okay. So, I've got some paper towels over here and some cardboard. So, I'm going. Can you not with that? Thank you. So, I'm going to be. Yeah, the South Thistle's one of the dandelions. Dandelion's the overall group name, and South Thistle happens to be one of the ones that grows a bit larger than the average dandelion tends to, which is why. Okay, it was kind of in frame. Come on, there we go. Which is why, if you look at it, it's got the white puffs over here. That's the achenes with their. The achenes are the seed bits, but yeah. Which is why the the Keens are there as they are. But it's interesting because unlike like the garden variety, for lack of a better term, the common dandelions, these ones don't seem to have the sepals on the base of the flowers. It's just, yeah. It might just be that these ones are not old enough yet for that, but all the pictures that I've seen, it looks like sow thistle doesn't have the green bits on the bottom. It's just the flower itself. So, yeah. But yeah, they're one of the dandelions. And these ones are apparently rather prone to aphids. I don't know. Yeah, that's some fabulous video quality right there. Like, not as yet, no. But yeah, I thought they all did too. But it might just be that for these particular ones, they need to be a certain point in the development. But yeah, it's that one is kind of weird. At present, the owls don't have names. yeah, ladybug thistle could work for that. It's probably called sow thistle because pigs like to eat it. Don't quote me on that, but let's see with the Google machine. Let's give it a check. Oh no, that's the wrong tab. Come on. No, it's edible too, just like most of the dandelions. But it is kind of bitter. Okay, let's see. Contains calcium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, and zinc, along with vitamins A, B1, B2, B3, B6, and C. And the leaves are a good antioxidant. Oh yes, there's a lot of diversity in the official naming apparently. It's called sow thistle, but it's also called annual sow thistle because that's a big difference. Not. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's not giving me any info on that one. Yeah. Right? Seriously. Like, if you're gonna have a secondary name for a plant, at least have it be something that's different, you know? Like, different regions have different distinctive names for the same thing. Like, okay, but. Okay. Whatever. Okay, let's see. what this says. Wait, what? Okay. Random fact found while scrolling through information about plant things. Apparently, you can make a homemade herbicide if you mix vinegar and salt if you want to kill thistle plants. I mean, thistles are pretty cool. They're spiky as all get out, but they're pretty cool guys. So apparently, that's a mode of getting them out of your space, but then you're putting salt into the ground space that you're presumably wanting to grow things in. Of course, Epsom salt is really good for tomatoes, so it just depends on what's around it, I suppose. Yeah. Interesting. And you're supposed to do that once a week. Saturating it. That's very strange. Okay. Interesting posts from the San Francisco Gate Home Guides. Yeah. Yeah, not the brightest possible idea. Yeah, it's Epsom salts are, I want to say it has a different makeup than regular salt, but if you add it to tomatoes, it's good for bringing oxygen back into the soil. Just like if you add crushed up, like crushed. Can you not? Mr. Motorbike over there. Really? Um, if you add crushed up eggshells to the soil around tomato plants, then it's really good because it adds calcium. And if you don't have enough calcium in there, then you start getting tomato rot, which I can't remember if I actually posted the blog post that I was writing about tomatoes last year. I think I did a video. I don't remember. Fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're not sitting in one spot for an extended period of time, people are less likely to cough on you, I guess. There's that as a possible option. Still not recommended, but is what it is. I just realized that you can see the clouds in the reflection. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Apparently, I've been sitting in one position for too long. because, the back. All right. Now, gardening time. I've got paper towels. These ones are the blue shop towels. Yep. Bit of a Sailor Moon shout out there. And some cardboard for pressing plants. And a bucket for, collecting the ones that are edible. And I'm going to have little mini info bits for all of these guys in the next week or so. Because I'm starting up a new series that's kind of a continuation of what was supposed to be a series last September? August? I don't remember. But it was botany snippets for that one. And it lasted for a good, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And stopped being posted. So we're doing botany bites now, and it's just one plant and random facts about the plant. So if there's requests or suggestions, the ones that are most accessible here will probably happen first just because. But that's a thing. And I can't remember if 2 or 3 episodes are already filmed that need to be edited on that one. But well, it's here. I picked this one yesterday, so if you happen to find stinging nettle somewhere, it's really good for vitamin C and antioxidants and stuff. And it's really, really high in how long to wait if pesticides or Roundup was used when trying to eat weeds. On the weeds, on the particular weeds that you're trying to eat, or things that or things that are growing in a space that had pesticides used on it. Because if it's topical on the plant, it still tends to stay around even after you've washed it. Okay, if it's in the soil and something's growing out of the soil, it's kind of a gray area, just because certain plants absorb more from their surroundings than other ones, and some are better at filtering components. Anything that's growing in soil is going to absorb elements from the soil just by virtue of that's where their food source is coming from. That's where the nutrients are. And Let me see. Not entirely sure on that one, but a very good question. So, let's see. Getting random flower bits everywhere. Okay. 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 So, as I was thinking, just double checking for science purposes. It depends on the composition of the soil and the general environment, but it's anywhere from 1 to some sources are saying 200 days, some are saying 174, but according to this, or according to Cornell University, when they've done studies, it's somewhere between a day and 174 days for the materials to break down enough that it's not present in the soil anymore. And okay, yeah. And then also the half-life is about 47 days. Yeah, right? It's like for some elements and some like chemical compounds, it kind of, you know, it it needs a while. But yeah. Apparently it's a length of time, but not like the next 10 years or something. That's about how it is for gas stations, though. Yeah. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, okay. Just look down and the shoe is completely untied. Which, that's fun. Okay, one second. Hello, police chopper. don't know what they're looking for, but they're circling somewhere over there. So. Let's see. Okay. Let's move you over here for a second. Can you see it? Yes. All right. So. Let's pull this guy up here. Okay, that didn't work. Because ideally, when you're pulling weeds, you have the roots that are attached to them. It makes it kind of more difficult if it's brickwork that you're pulling stuff out of, because the bricks kind of try and retain everything. But okay, well, I'll get to that in a bit. I mean, toilet paper is kind of a hot commodity right now, so yeah, I can see that being a thing. Huh. Oh, these are little tiny guys. Yeah. And then this guy over here is, come on, is what's called London Rocket, or mustard rocket, which it's part of the mustard family, and you can kind of see the flowers up there. It's one of the brassicas, so it's related to mustards. It's a brassica, so it's part of the same family that broccoli and cauliflower are. And you have the leaves over here that look like lettucey type rocket, or arugula, as it's usually called in the US. And it's edible. It's just really spicy. Apparently really spicy, so we're going to put this guy in the bucket of food things. Wash them up, so in there. Yeah. Seriously though, with the whole toilet paper situation, like, I'm glad that Costco. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't had wasabi. I don't think, like, actual wasabi. Maybe, I don't know. The qualifier. The only wasabi that I remember having was either at Wagamama's in Canterbury when I was doing my degree, or as part of a, like, the little buy it at the grocery store sushi platters. So I don't know how legit that experience would have been. I just know that it was real green, and the people around me didn't seem to know how to eat it. It's like one of the geniuses just took a spoon and no. It was just all kinds of no. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Which really is kind of in line with, like, the general experience of a lot of the food things that I've been party to. Okay. And oh yeah, and nettle aren't yeah. um, if it's who I'm remembering it was, they weren't quite the brightest bulb in the box, shall we say? But yeah, that wasn't the best idea, to be sure. What am I doing? Ah, one sec. Left the tools and everything on the trash can over there, so I'll be right back. Oh, come on. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Also, if you happen to be gardening and stuff, knee pads are highly recommended. These guys have like a honeycomb gel in there. I can't remember what the name is though, because all the tags are like, they're very well loved. I do have a new pair, but these are really good for just kind of hanging around the house and stuff, because you can tie them on and it's fine. They're not all that great for archaeology sites, though, to be fair, because these grooves kind of really dig into the strata, is what it is, but kept my knees from completely dying when on hard packed dirt, so. Mm. Oh man. Oh yeah. Remember to drink your water. That's good. Yeah, archaeology is pretty awesome. Haven't been able to be on site for a while, to be fair. But, you know, armchair archaeology is still a thing. Yeah. It's a fun one. Okay, no. Who to do this? So I'm going to be drawing at least some of these to make my own tea and stuff, because nettle tea is really good as an immune booster and has high levels of vitamin A, I want to say. Vitamin A, vitamin C. But also want to press some of it because I don't have any examples, or any recent examples at least, of like fully mature nettle. So, also when you're working with this and there are flower buds, the flowers fall off very easily. So ideally, it's better to just like do this with a fresh sample. But actually, yeah, I'll I'll keep this one for tea and stuff. So that's going in the bucket, and we'll pull something else for herbarium sample and herbarium sample. Okay, so got those in there. So let's see if I can get this guy. One sec. Okay, well, it sort of kind of didn't really get the roots. They're still sort of in there, but it's better than the complete snap off that other one had. All right. So when you're doing an herbarium sample, random learning factoids here. Wait, one second. Is that a bigger board? Not that much. All right. Got a slightly bigger board for this. When you're doing a sample, like an herbarium piece, you don't want to remove the spines because that's part of the plant, and you're trying to show the realities of that particular specimen as much as possible in as much detail as possible. If you wanted to, you could, just like for roses, you could cut off the thorns, but you don't have to. However, the caveat, if you are handling nettle, I would suggest highly that you wear gloves. Otherwise, your hands are going to be numb. In very short order, and at least for me, it lasts a good day and a half. Oh, for tea, no. It, like, there's still elements of the spiny bits and stuff in there, but most tea is just the leaves, and they don't have the spines on there. But even if you just like stab it, even if you just have like a piece of the stalk and pop it in a cup, unless you then try and like eat the stalk, which you could if you wanted to, it's not going to be an issue. But there are people who just like go out and nom on these guys right out of the garden just because. So you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to in any capacity. All right. For herbarium stuffs, you've got a thing like this, and the cardboard under it is like up to here. So just kind of move the leaves so that it's a flat surface. And can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. Ah, come on. And all right. And you want everything to kind of be evenly spread out and to have at least one of the leaves flipped so that you can see the reverse side. So let's do that. Oh, come on. All right. So I've got this hand with the glove that I'm holding the stalk down with, and this hand without the glove because the leaves are fine to handle and they're being a pain in the everything right about now. So, but yeah, there's oh, a number of stories I have. Man, a number of stories I have about these guys, honestly. Let's just say I would not suggest to anyone falling into a hedge that's filled with nettle. Because, or actually maybe, that's perhaps a viable thing that you might want to do. Because, I mean, it helped with the shoulder pain for like a good week and a half. So, yeah. Yeah, because like this whole section fell into a patch of nettle, and the jaw and shoulder didn't hurt for like 2 weeks. So, might be a viable thing at that point. All right. Whale in that case. Uh, okay, one sec. Let me just get this. Come on. Okay. Okay, that one wants to switch sides, so it can do what it wants to. What it wants to do. All right. Oh yeah. Just a word of interest. If you decide to press plants, especially like right about now when paper products aren't readily available in a lot of situations, you can totally reuse the paper towels for other projects. I wouldn't suggest using them to like wrap a sandwich or something, but you could totally use them to blot something else because it's essentially out. You're you're essentially using it as blotter paper. Ow. Okay. Basically, I was a genius just now and forgot that the spines can go through paper, and I'm using my hand to hold it down. So, um, yeah, that's ow. That's fun. Okay. Oh, jeez. Give up. Man. Yeah, I don't know how well the webcam would pick it up, but right in here, it's, oh man, it's a little bit red. One sec. Okay. In the event that, like, science facts here, I can't remember what the compound is, but in the event that you run into a giant patch of nettle in its natural habitat, meaning I haven't seen burdock stateside, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't grow here. Being that I've only seen nettle growing in very particular spaces. So, but at least in the UK, if you find nettle and you end up getting stung and stuff like that, a burdock almost invariably grows right next to it or in a very close proximity. And burdock has compounds in it that, when rubbed on the skin, relieves the sting. So, in case you find yourself in a situation of that nature, that might be something useful to make use of. That was the most punky sentence ever. But yeah. Stories, though. So, but yeah, just rinsing it off with a little bit of water helps. Just like, don't touch it afterwards, because then it reactivates the sting and stuff. Exactly. Science safety. Because science is fun, but also because science. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. I don't know. Diddles. Right. So, Canterbury, because I did as far as I'm aware, thistle is just spiky. It's spiky and a little bundle of pain if you happen to step on it or walk through a field, because they just kind of like cat claw into your leg. Most of the thistle bits are straight instead of curved like claws, but they stab you. These guys, as much as I really love nettle, these dudes, the spines are essentially tiny hypodermic needles and inject the compounds into whatever has attacked it to make it go away, and then like temporarily disables it so that you can't do anything to it. Whereas thistles just poke you so you carry on with your business. Basically, they're attack plants, but they're still awesome, and they're still awesome. Rather, there's yeah. But yeah, when I was doing my degree, seriously, I mean, thistles are kind of like they're pretty high power, but that's just because some of like the giant thistles can have spines that are pretty sizable. But yeah, the nettle, like, you're gonna be feeling that for a good couple of days at least, especially if you fall in the patch. And like, when I was able to ride a bicycle, more admittedly from like force of will and stubbornness than actual ability, just because the knee isn't that adept at repetitive motion at present. One of my friends and I were going through the countryside around Canterbury, and I don't know, the bike hit a rock or whatever. Basically, the main foot road is here, and then there's like the verges on either side with like farmland off to the side and stuff, and like hedges and stuff. The road was here, and the greenery on the side was here, same level. And then I fell into it and realized that it was a bunch of nettles, and the actual ground was about here, and there was kind of a gully bit that was just full of nettles that was tall enough that it was the same height as the road. I will say, though, that the knee, the shoulder, and the jaw, that were all giving me all kinds of issues, partially because I didn't realize that gluten was a thing at that point, were all at least temporarily alleviated for the next week or two. The rest of my arm was just completely red, but is what it is. I will say it's a very odd feeling to see your finger like touching your arm and to feel it on like the base layers of skin, but it's not like the top is like completely numb. So yeah, yeah. Admittedly, I haven't made my own nettle tea as of yet. So this is like part of an experiment. Um, but should be good. I've pressed them enough times, but most of the nettle and dandelion tea that I end up getting is from traditional medicinals, just because it's ready to go in a box and available year round when you need it. Um, so yeah, it's good though. I don't know. Apparently, the resident feline that likes to go outside uh, has returned to the premises. Oh yeah, the throat coat is really good. That's kind of a staple for the winter time. It, yeah. I will say though, if you try the dandelion tea that they have, roasted dandelion root is good. Unroasted dandelion root tastes like grass. The roast one kind of tastes like coffee, sort of, kind of. Which reminds me that I have a cup of it sitting on the table that I forgot to drink until just now. But it's good cold too, so there you go. Oh, let's see. Again. I believe so. I believe so, yeah. Um, hmm. One sec. One sec. Mm-hmm. Is the phone dead? The phone's dead, apparently. Uh, let's see. I can make use of the Google. Uh, Okay. It doesn't. Yeah. They don't seem to be related per se, but they have very similar compounds and elements and are kind of interchangeable in like food processing and stuff. So yeah. I'll be right back. I need to go use the facilities, so I will leave you with plant things for right now. Okay. And we're back. Alright, one sec. Yeah, gotta adjust that. Okay. Okay, it looks like there's about 20-30 minutes left in the laptop battery life, so there's that. Yeah. Oh, these guys over here. These dudes. Yeah. Unless I missed my guess, this is a. I have something that's a darker material. I'll just use the phone. There we go. unless I missed my guess, this is a really tiny version of the London rocket that actually has the roots. And you can see the root system, which is cool. So this one's gonna get pressed probably. We've also got some evening primrose around here that has decided to make a home that needs to come out. It's good for skin conditions and stuff, but it's once it gets established, it's such a pain to remove from a spot. But it's really good for like anti-aging sort of skin products and things like that. Who else is out? And then we have these guys that are not shamrocks, they're not clovers in any capacity. They're still pretty cool though. Yeah, these ones are oxalis. They are edible, but they're kind of bitter and stuff. But they have, don't know how well it's picking it up, but they have little hairs along the stalk too. Okay. So okay, if by bellflowers you mean these guys, then yeah. They. Oh, there's an inchworm. Hello, inchworm. Yeah. Little wormy friend. Just chilling in the flower. Just having a sit. Right there. Which, fair enough. Or is that a slug? So it looks like it might be a green slug. Then it also looks like a worm. Yeah, these are the oxalis. It's got a different growing pattern than the seriously, just like in there. Just right in there. Having a snooze. Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah. computer saying that the battery saver mode is on now, so gotta wrap up the stream. But yeah, the oxalis is, the leaves are similar to like clovers, but these are the flowers versus the thistles that are the thistle type flowers rather that clovers have. Yeah. They're kind of all over the place too, which is kind of cool, kind of weird. But yeah. Maybe. One sec. That is not a question I have looked into, so back to the Google machine. Oh, enter. There we go. Come on. No. Apparently, sassafras is a tree. Yeah. Yeah. Sassafras is a genus of 3 extant and 1 extinct species of deciduous trees in the family Lauraceae, native to eastern North America and eastern Asia. The genus is distinguished by its aromatic properties, which have made the tree useful to humans. Interesting. Very interesting. However, most of the leaves are a trilobed format. Good to know. Might have to look at that in a bit. Alright. Aw. Yeah, I'll put a link down below to some of the stuff that I found about that. But yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it's not a wildflower. I just know sassafras and sarsaparilla being elements of candy and root beer. I can't remember which one is which, but yeah. Which would make sense because I know bark is used for a lot of things and seeds and stuff, so yeah. 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 So I know there's some lag happening. It's probably about, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. But the, yeah. Yeah, that, Let me see some real quick. Is Aurelia nudicalis, or sarsaparilla, is a flowering plant of northern and eastern North America which reaches a height of 30 to 60 centimeters with creeping underground stems. So, that might be. Oh, wait a sec. Interesting. That's entirely possible. Random factoid of the day, though: root beer is traditionally used, or is traditionally made by using the root bark of the sassafras tree. Which, fair enough, it's pretty tasty. Alright. As as nice as it is having a chat and doing plant things and doing some weeding and all that, the computer's about to die, so I unfortunately need to cut the stream short. But yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, it's entirely possible to get the two confused. See you later. Have a good one. Bye now.